Spring 2017. Yinjiang County, Tongren City, Guizhou. The mountains there are massive and deep, one mountain after another, layered all the way to the horizon, clouds and mist coiled around them year-round. The vegetation is dense, ferns taller than a person, vines hanging from branches like green curtains. Xiao Huang's village sat in a basin, surrounded on all sides by mountains, like a giant natural bowl. About 100 households, mostly Tujia natives who had lived there for generations. Xiao Huang's home was a 2-story house on a slope, a modest courtyard out front, a crude toilet on the left, a passage leading to an abandoned pigsty, and a small path extending to the reservoir on the back mountain. Xiao Huang was a high school sophomore, boarding in the city. She rarely went home, once a month at most. That day her mother called. Her voice was strange, distant, breathy, like someone just woken from a dream. "Huang, come home. I think something's not right with me." Then the line went dead. Xiao Huang rushed back. She found her mother at home, sitting listlessly on a stool, face sallow, eyes hollow. "Everything, since I went to the pigsty that day. It feels unreal. Like I'm floating, watching myself from outside." The mother explained. She'd gone to the pigsty for firewood. As she reached the entrance, a sharp chill hit her back. Not ordinary cold wind, but something precise, as if someone had pressed icy lips against the nape of her neck. That cold penetrated her clothes, burrowed into her bones. 4 figures materialized beside her. 2 men, 2 women, faces ashen and motionless, eye sockets dark and bottomless. Before she could react, they hoisted her and carried her toward the back mountain. Alarmed, the family took her to the county hospital and even a larger city hospital. Every test came back normal. The doctors shrugged. Psychological factors. Rest should help. A few days later, around dusk, Xiao Huang's mother said she needed to use the toilet. The crude toilet stood at the left side of the courtyard, a passage beside it leading to the abandoned pigsty. She walked out of the main hall, crossed the courtyard, and turned left into the passage. 15 minutes passed. She didn't come back. Xiao Huang went to check. The toilet was empty. The passage, empty. The pigsty, empty. Her mother had vanished. No back door. No way out except the path she'd entered. The walls were 2 meters high. The family mobilized the entire village, 60 or 70 people searching the mountains. They combed the reservoir. They called her name through the valleys. First light to pitch dark. 2 full days. Nothing. By the 3rd day, they were losing hope. Then, around dusk, Xiao Huang's father pushed open the main hall door and stepped into the courtyard, and froze. On the low wall beside the pigsty path, someone was standing there. Her hair stood straight up, like it was electrified. Her clothes, the exact outfit she'd worn when she disappeared, were completely clean, not a speck of mud. Her eyes were shut, her body gently swayed, as if sleepwalking, and her lips were moving rapidly, as if talking to someone. But no sound came out. An old woman pointed at her feet. "Look at her shoes." During those days, the mountain paths had been soaked with rain. Every searcher's shoes were caked with dried yellow mud, but the mother's soles were dry and spotless, as if she'd just stepped out of the house. Her feet had never truly touched the ground. She had been carried through the air. They carried her to bed. She was in a deep coma. Nothing could wake her. The village ritual master burned talisman water, chanted incantations. Her eyelashes never fluttered. Then Xiao Huang's maternal grandfather arrived, nearly 80, hair white, frantic with worry. He didn't go to her bedside first. He strode into the kitchen, took a bowl of clear water, and brought it to her. Eyes closed, his lips moved rapidly, ancient syllables from the depths of time. He took the water into his mouth and sprayed it forcefully onto her face, He rushed to the front door and struck the panel hard. Slap, 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 chanting as if negotiating with invisible presences. Back to the bedside, another mouthful of water sprayed. The mother's mouth opened, and she let out a piercing shriek. Her eyes snapped open. Then she began talking in a voice that wasn't quite hers, sometimes her own, sometimes strangled from deep in her throat, sometimes raspy. "I was at the toilet," she said. "When I came out, I saw 4 people standing at the pigsty entrance. 2 men, 2 women. Their faces, I could see them clearly, very clearly, not scary. They looked like normal people, wearing dark clothes, very polite. One woman spoke, her voice warm and gentle, like a neighbor inviting me to visit. 'Auntie, our home isn't far. Come sit for a while. Just over the back mountain, 10 minutes.' I don't know why I followed them. My body felt like it wasn't my own. I followed the path past the pigsty, toward the back mountain. As I walked, the ground beneath my feet grew softer and softer, like stepping on cotton. The surrounding scenery grew more and more unfamiliar. She said they arrived at a cave. Inside, 4 stone chairs, 1 stone table, a stone bed against the wall. On the table were bowls of food, still steaming. They told me, 'You're our guest now. Please sit, eat something.' I couldn't see outside the cave, like thick fog. I heard people calling my name. It sounded like your father, your brother, neighbors. I could hear them clearly. I saw people walking past the cave entrance. I recognized them. I called out to them, but they couldn't see me, couldn't hear me, like I didn't exist." Days passed in the cave. She lost track of time. She ate what they offered. She never felt hungry or thirsty. Then suddenly, I don't know what happened, but those 4 started arguing, agitated, as if someone was ordering them to release me. They argued a long time, then turned to me. "You can go back now." Next thing I knew, I was standing on that wall. Everyone listened in stunned silence. Ghost blinding, ghost carrying. The old folk tales their grandparents told. All real, but that wasn't the end. After the mother finished speaking, her second son, Xiao Huang's brother, suddenly convulsed violently, then slumped in his chair like a puppet with cut strings. His head hung low. When he lifted it, his face wasn't his anymore. His eyes were wide open, yet somehow unfocused, looking at everyone in the room, yet through them. His features had twisted into a different arrangement, the same face but an entirely different person wearing it. And he spoke in a voice that wasn't his, an old woman's voice, cracked and hoarse. "You unfilial children." Everyone froze. That voice, it was the grandmother's, dead 15 years. "I only left for a few years and you've neglected your mother like this. She almost got carried away for good. If I hadn't gone down there and argued with those things, your mother would never have come back." The maternal grandfather stepped forward shakily. "Old woman, is it you?" "Who else?" The voice cracked. 15 years, and you've all forgotten my voice? I've been watching from below, watching your mother get bullied by those wandering ghosts, anxious enough to die. Except I'm already dead," she raged, scolding her son, scolding her grandsons. Then her tone softened. "Burn more paper money. Burn for me. Burn for those 4 as well. They're homeless, lonely ghosts. Keep them satisfied, and they'll leave you alone." Then the brother's body went rigid, arched backwards, then fell limp. When his eyes opened, his own voice returned. "What happened? Why is everyone staring at me?" The family burned offerings all night, for ancestors, for grandmother, for the 4 wandering ghosts. The grandfather later explained, those 4 were restless spirits from before the liberation in 1949, forgotten in the mountains for decades with no descendants to burn offerings for them. The mother's life energy had dropped low, and the repeated trips to the pigsty had worn the boundary thin. He performed one final ritual, a Tujia egg-burning custom, marking raw eggs with ink talismans and roasting them over charcoal. The yolk patterns reveal whether unclean things linger. The mother's egg exploded on the charcoal, the fragments eerily forming a human head, mouth wide open, silently screaming. He sealed it in a clay jar with cinnabar talismans and carried it to the back mountain. When he returned, the jar was gone. Xiao Huang's mother slowly recovered. Their house was covered everywhere with yellow talismans, door frames, windows, head of the bed, beside the stove. From then on, those spirits never stirred up trouble again. Every Qingming, the mother burns extra spirit money in the courtyard for homeless, lonely ghosts who can't find their way back, just hoping that after taking the money, they won't bother anyone anymore. Ghost blinding, ghost carrying, deceased relatives manifesting, every element interwoven with ancient folk beliefs, all became reality in the case of Xiao Huang's mother. When wandering spirits appear, they form an invisible barrier, isolating the victim from the normal